For the week of May 14th to May 21st, Sun is in 24 degrees Taurus, transiting into Sun in 1 degree Gemini by the end of the week. What a great week. Aries rising. This week, Sun is transiting your second house, and then it beautifully moves into your third house, telling me that you guys are in this placement where there is a relationship for you. There are relationships for you. They're predestined, right? But your perspective is showing me that you're empowered by people telling you, with Pluto and Aquarius in retrograde in the 11th house, of who's for you and who's not. Because South Node's in Libra in the 7th house, but Pluto's where we're empowered. So you might feel this hint of empowerment about relationships, but know that it will be easier to communicate all about this by the end of the week. For Taurus rising, this week it's Sun is in Taurus transiting your first house, but it's wrapping up. So by the end of the week, Gemini will be transiting your second house. Pluto's in Aquarius transiting your 10th house, telling me that your perspective of empowerment is through knowing that you are in a high place in your career, but that now you want to treat yourself. You want to eat better. And that's definitely going to be encouraged because people are going to be like, asking you to try new foods and stuff, which is exciting. For Gemini rising this week, it's really about understanding that Sun is in Taurus transiting your 12th house, but then it moves into Sun in Gemini transiting your first house, which is telling me that you might feel slower in the beginning of the week, but by the end of the week, you feel seen more, and that's exciting. And your place of empowerment is knowing that Pluto's in Aquarius transiting your 9th house. So your perspective of empowerment is that through higher education, through long distance travel, through better belief systems over time, of course, these will help feel connected to your partner in a more deeper way, with South Node in transiting Libra in the 5th house, or connected to your creative process, or connected to your inner child, or even your children for some of you. For Cancer rising, this week is really about understanding that your place of so Sun is in Taurus transiting your 11th house, telling me there's a lot of ripe and good energy in your purpose, your life purpose. Your place of it, but then Gemini, then it goes into Gemini season by the end of the week, telling me that you guys are going to start feeling a little bit more noticing of the collective, and have to come into more heart awareness about where things are going in the collective and social media and the news. But your place of empowerment is really Pluto and Aquarius in the 8th house, telling me that, can you trust everything you see on the news? Do you want to trust everything you see on the news? It's a choice. And I think you guys are starting to realize, yes, scandals are popping up with different celebrities and different scandals and people you thought you trusted, and different systems are breaking down because you have Neptune in the 9th, but then Saturn's there in Pisces in the 9th house, saying there's a limitation with all these belief systems that are being shown on media, right? So, or even how there's really nothing bad going out there. Remember, it's Gemini, so you will have to come into the heart awareness of, with Pluto and Aquarius in your 8th house, people will be talking to you about heightened intuition. They'll be saying, I don't think you should use this app anymore. I don't think you should contact that company. This is the week that you really do get feedback from the other person, and that it really is important to go to a spiritual advisor. I really highly suggest it. I really highly suggest that you understand that you are empowered through understanding your heightened intuition as well. For Leo rising this week, keep it simple. Sun is in Taurus, transiting your 10th house. Then it goes into Gemini by the end of the week, transiting your 11th house, telling you that you guys are feeling empowered by your relationships, but you guys are needing to slow down and realize that there is a retrograde happening in Pluto till October 11th. It goes back into Capricorn. September 1st, and then it re-enters Aquarius November 19th. So it really is about understanding that, Leo, just be patient with the communication and everything will be fine. Leo rising. Virgo rising this week, it's really about understanding. Get to the facts, get to the details. No more anonymous messages. What is going on? You need to assert yourself in a situation. Sun is in Taurus transiting your 9th house, then it goes into Sun and Gemini transiting your 10th house by the end of the week. So it's telling me that your perspective is pretty Aquarian. It's transiting your 6th house with all work routine, but it's in retrograde. And then it goes back into Capricorn, transiting your 5th house September 1st. But then it goes direct October 11th in Capricorn. But then it goes back into Aquarius November 19th, 2024. So you guys will be back on top of your game in your work career, your career routine, but there will be a pause where you will be more focused on inner child, children, and having more fun. But at this point, with the 29 degree, it won't be the same transit as last time at the beginning of Pluto in Capricorn in 2008. It's going to be more serious about you observing and getting to the facts of society. Usually when Pluto goes retrograde for this short amount of time, it's definitely to awaken the collective about something that's bigger than our personal lives. It's not really about our personal lives. Maybe it's about human trafficking. Maybe it's about scandalism. Maybe it's about drug trafficking. Bigger themes so that we are more aware of how pushy and demanding we are on how we truly value ourselves with our routine. Maybe we're just going too fast to notice that there is something happening in society. And usually when there is a buildup, it takes maybe a few months after Pluto going direct, 2 months, to actually see the effects of the retrograde. So even though we're going in retrograde for really 2 months and a half, we will really see the effects early next year, January 19th, 2025, in Capricorn season, right at the end, where we are going to see what was that Pluto really shaking up in the Earth's Capricorn element. Capricorn rules government, rules politics, so you know that it will be a heated time because of the completion of the election in the United States. So you know these things are already can shake up our self-worth. Be sure that you have people checking in with you and everything will be okay. For Libra rising this week, it's really about understanding that the Sun is in Taurus, transiting your 8th house, but then it moves into Gemini, transiting your 9th house. It gets lighter. You're a bird now. It really does. Pluto's in retrograde, transiting your 5th house in Aquarius. In your 5th house, all about love and inner child and romantic partners and creative habits. And that's your perspective on how you see yourself. Remember, the South Node's in 1st house. You're still not at that fully launched stage of your next full chapter until we move closer up the Libra scale of in the earlier degrees of Libra. I do think there will be a lot of behind the scenes with the South Node in Libra in your 1st house, just to make sure everything's okay. Pluto is going back into your 4th house September 1st in Capricorn, in retrograde, and it will re-enter Aquarius November 19th, 2024. We will feel the effects of this retrograde by the end of Capricorn season 2025, January 19th. So be careful of how assertive you are in situations. They might not be the best situations for you. For Scorpio rising this week, it's about understanding the Sun is in Taurus, transiting your 7th house, and then the Sun moves in Gemini by the end of the week, transiting your 8th house. Scorpio rising. Your perspective is that Pluto's in Aquarius, transiting your 4th house in retrograde, telling me that you will be dealing with all these kind of perspectives of family, heightened intuition, soul tribe. But Pluto goes back into Capricorn September 1st, 2024, telling me that things are bound to erupt if you're communicating to the wrong people, because it's going to be back in Pluto and Capricorn in the 3rd house. Pluto goes back into Aquarius November 19th, 2024, but Pluto actually goes direct October 11th, 2024 in Capricorn. So we have 2 months of Pluto in Capricorn and in retrograde from September 1st to November 19th, 2024. It will take 2 months to feel the effect of Pluto. So we won't even feel the effects of, the Pluto retrograde till next year, January 19th, 2025, the end of Capricorn season. So for some of you, it's really watch out who you're communicating to. They could be a sketch. They could be sketchy. For Sagittarius rising, this week it's really about understanding that the Sun is in Taurus transiting your 6th house, but then it moves into Sun in Gemini transiting your 7th house by the end of the week. It's really important to see that Pluto is in retrograde transiting your 3rd house since May 2nd till October 11th. Pluto goes back into Capricorn September 1st. It will be transiting your 2nd house. And then it goes back into Aquarius November 19th, 2024. About a month and 8 days after the retrograde. It takes 2 months to feel the effects of the Pluto retrograde. We will feel the effects at the end of Capricorn season 2025, January 19th. So be careful of power struggles here with your psyche and communication, short distance travel, siblings, and how you aspire to be on your life purpose, but you just all of a sudden you're the most important person talking to when we go back to Pluto and Capricorn September 1st, all of a sudden you're the person who has the most needs. It is important to evaluate that in your life purpose with South Node Libra in your 11th house. For Capricorn rising this week, the Sun is in Taurus transiting your 5th house. But then it moves to Sun and Gemini transiting your 6th house by the end of the week. So for Capricorn rising this week, the Sun is in Taurus transiting your 5th house, and then it moves into Sun and Gemini transiting your 6th house by the end of the week. It's important to understand that Pluto's in Aquarius transiting your 2nd house, but it will be back into Capricorn September 1st, 2024 in a retrograde. And it goes back into Aquarius November 19th in your 2nd house. So it's important to realize you'll have 2 months and a half of Pluto in your 1st house. But it will be different because it won't be as personal this time. Because the transit is so short of Capricorn, it will be more about society and the changes in the government. We do have the election in the United States wrapping up around that time. It is important to be mindful of valuing yourself so much over others that you can't even see where you need to be in your career. That is my advice for Capricorn rising. The beauty of it is that we're in Taurus season at the beginning of the week, transiting your 5th house, all about love and inner child and creativity, but it's important to realize that we are entering Sun in Gemini at the end of the week, and that will be about creating a healthier routine. That's what helps you stay mindful. Capricorn rising. For Aquarius rising, this week it's really about understanding Sun is in Taurus transiting your 4th house. By the end of the week, it moves into Sun and Gemini transiting your 5th house. Pluto's in Aquarius in retrograde transiting your 5th. Pluto's in Aquarius in retrograde transiting your 1st house. Till September 1st, it will go back into Capricorn transiting your 12th house. But it will go re-enter Aquarius more permanently, November 19th, 2024. So here, we have 2 months and a half of reorganizing, behind the scene work. 12th house rules media. So maybe we have to be careful around social media around that time. The South Node Libra is in your 9th house. So you're currently seeing things with your belief systems entering the presence of a situation. But by the time we go to September 1st, you may feel as though you're seeing behind the scenes of a higher belief system, a higher core value. That's better. But that's high up, Aquarius rising, and you deserve to be there as fixed air. For Pisces rising, this week it's really about understanding Sun is in Taurus transiting your third house, all about communication, siblings, and the psyche. But at the end of the week, Sun does move into Gemini, transiting your fourth house, ruling heightened intuition, soul tribe, family. So it's important to understand that there will be a shift in perspective here in your presence. Pluto's in Aquarius, transiting your 12th house. In retrograde till September 1st, will re-enter Capricorn in retrograde. But it will only be in Capricorn for 2 months and a half. It will then re-enter Aquarius November 19th, 2024. For that 2 months and a half, Pluto will be in your 11th house. So maybe there is something that we have to be careful of about using other people's resources as a means of our purpose. Maybe we're using the wrong resources. Maybe you're seeing the highs of a resource and the low of a resource. Remember, there's always highs and lows. There's always a constant. Figure out what that constant is. Know how to get to that equation. What is the constant of things being true or false over media? We've already had Pluto in Aquarius affect you in your 12th house. So it does make sense to get a second opinion before engaging with any kind of other people's resources that isn't verified. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into Underwater Astrology for the week of May 14th to May 21st, 2024. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week. Much love, Underwater Astrology.